See all the little good things you do, they make me no. This distance is taking a hold of me for sure. Baby, come closer. To make me dance. Girl, I wanna make you know. I wanna make you know.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Lexi. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, welcome, and if you're not new here, welcome back to the channel. So today's story time is going to be about my encounters with my weird neighbors. So I have two separate weird encounters with my neighbors, but I'm gonna be telling y'all the very first one that I experienced when I first moved over here to my apartment complex. This story time took place about last year around summertime. I was going to work out around my track. You know, my apartment complex, it has a big lake, and around the lake it has a track. So about from my building, it's about a minute walk to get to the lake or whatever. I would go walking. I would do that every day when I got off work, and it would be around different times. Like sometimes it'll be, because it really depended on what time I got off work, honestly. Like sometimes I get off earlier, sometimes I'll get off later. And once I got off from work, I would like to go ahead and go walking so that I could come back home and chill. When I first started walking, it would be this older guy who would sit on his patio. Mind y'all, the story time is not about this particular older guy. It's just a comparison to the two, between these two older guys, that let me know that one of them, which is the one I'm about to tell you, was my weird ass neighbor. The one he would always sit on his patio, smoke a cigarette. You know, he'll speak, he'll say hey, he'll just be sitting there smoking his cigarette, and then he'll go back in the house. He would never just sit out there and just linger around. He'll just smoke his cigarette and go back in, speak when I came by for the first time, and then that'll be that. So he never gave me any weird vibes. He never tried to like have a conversation with me. It was just neighborly, hey, and go about your business type stuff. That's that neighbor. His next door neighbor, because they both lived on the first floor, and they both lived beside each other. So the neighbor beside him, I was walking every day for about 2 months straight, and I had never seen him. I never seen him until about 2 months after I had started walking out there. And he started sitting on his patio too. And at first I didn't really think nothing of it, because I'm like, okay, it's his patio, he can sit on his patio, like it's nothing wrong with it. I never just looked over there at him to begin with to speak to him. It was just the fact that my other neighbor, like when you were walking around, like y'all would be making eye contact. So it's like if you look up, he's right there. So you really had no choice but to speak if he spoke back, if you were looking up type stuff. You know what I'm saying? They both were like that. You had to see both of them as you were coming around the corner. So, but more so with the weird dude. With the weird neighbor, you could really see him as you was coming up the track, because it's a big circle track, and his apartment was like at the point of the circle. Like this is the circle and this is his apartment. So you really saw him. And so he started sitting out there too. And like I said, I didn't think nothing of it. I just, you know, he sat on his patio, oh well, whatever. And I didn't really think nothing of it until it started becoming a pattern. Like I said, the other dude, he would just smoke his cigarette, go back in the house. But this particular dude, he wasn't outside smoking a cigarette. He wasn't outside on his phone, not even reading a book, not listening to music, not doing anything. He would just be sitting there looking, watching. And I mean, it wasn't nothing wrong with it at first, but it's just like, I'm gonna get into it with y'all. He started trying to be seen. Like he would, I'll be out there walking for about a few minutes. I'll be like a few minutes into my workout, and then he'll come outside, and he would literally sit out there the entire time that I was out there. And that is what I found was weird. And it started to be an everyday thing. Like, it started to be an everyday thing. Like, it didn't matter what time of the day I came out there, because sometimes I would get off later from my job. Sometimes I would get off earlier from my job. And I was like, you know, at first I was getting off pretty regular at my job around the same time every day. So I'd really be out there at the same time every day. And you know, he would already be out there sometimes. So I was like, okay, well, maybe he's just, you know, he's already out here. It's not like he was waiting for me to come out here. And I didn't really get any weird vibes from it until I would come out there at different times, and then he would come out there, and then it just started to be everyday thing. Like, it didn't matter what time of the day I came out there. If he wasn't already out there, he would come out there. And you know, most people, they have a pretty set schedule, especially if you're at home every day. Because I tell y'all, his truck, before I even knew it with his truck, it would be out there every single day in the same parking spot, which made me feel like he didn't even have a job. Like, he probably was retired or something, because he was older. So he probably was retired or something. But it's just like, before I even knew that was his truck, because I saw him getting in it one day, that truck was out there every single day in the same spot. So I'm like, okay, you know, does this man not have a job? Like, why is he always at home? And why is he always coming out here when I'm coming out here? It didn't matter what time of the day it was. Like, even on the weekends, I would come out early in the morning, like 7, 8 o'clock-ish, and he would come out there. It didn't matter what time. That started happening, and I saw that he was really just like coming out there when I would come out there, because it was more so that than not. Like, it was very seldom times when he would already be out there. Most of the time, he wouldn't come out there until I was already out there for a few minutes, and then he'll come and sit. And what was the real weird part was he would sit out there my whole workout. It wasn't just no 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then he'd go back in the house. No, this man would sit on his patio, not doing anything, for my whole hour worth of workout, or 45 minutes that I had left of my workout. He would sit out there the whole time. And so I thought that was weird. It was probably once or twice where he waved at me and I threw my hand up back. But after I started getting weirded out by him, I really just started like avoiding even looking over there, because I didn't want to give him like the satisfaction that, you know, make him feel like, oh, maybe I want to, you know, have a conversation. Like, no, just leave me alone. Just sit there and leave me alone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because he was really starting to give me weird vibes. Like, he really gave me weird vibes when he first started coming out, but I didn't want to jump the gun. But I'm just the type of person where I can feel when something or somebody is weird, like, for real. Because with this other dude, to this day, he's never tried to talk to me. He's never said anything besides hey to me. Like, it was never nothing weird. But this dude in particular, he gave me weird vibes off rip, because it's just like, why are you just sitting there not doing anything? Like, I get that you can sit on your patio, but come on now, like, you're doing nothing. Like, you're watching me, basically. You're sitting there watching me. And one day I was out there working out regular. He wasn't out there, but the other older guy was, his neighbor. So like I said, a few minutes later, he came out, but he wasn't on his patio this time. He was talking to the other neighbor outside of his patio. Like, the other neighbor, he was sitting in his patio, sitting down on a chair, and the weirdo, he was standing away from the dude's patio, but they were having a conversation. He was standing more so close to the sidewalk rather than standing right in front of him while they're having a conversation. So that's what I thought was weird, because I'm like, why are you standing so close to the sidewalk? Like, why are you trying to get close to me? And y'all may be like, oh, you just thinking too much about it. No, because when I walked up, he literally stepped in the middle of the sidewalk and stopped me and was like, what's your name? And then I gave him a fake name. I told him my name was Cameron. My name is not Cameron, but I gave him a fake name. And then he asked me, was I married? And I said no, but I should have said yeah. I should have told him yes. Like, I don't know why I said no, but it really caught me off guard because he was already creeping me out, just sitting on his patio, not doing nothing, just trying to get my attention, basically, to say hey or start a conversation or whatever. And that was just weird. I'm like, dude, go in your apartment. Like, why are you just sitting here watching me? Because that's exactly what he was doing. And that's what let me know what he was doing when he tried to talk to me that day. And he asked me, was I married? And I said no. And then he was like, you're very beautiful and all this other crap. And I'm just like, dude, I could be your daughter. Like, you're old. You're an old man. You're older than me. You know what I'm saying? And as he was talking to me or whatever, I was still walking. Like, I wasn't trying to stop and have a conversation. I wasn't even trying to walk so close on him. I was trying to avoid him, go around. But I was still walking as I was talking to him. And I was being very dry, because I was already weirded out. Literally, y'all, after I had basically like shut it down or whatever, every day after that, this man would be sitting there, literally seemed like he wanted me to know he was watching me this time, because like I would look at him and then he'll just be like staring at me. And so I had stopped going out there altogether. I had stopped going out there again altogether for about 2 weeks. 2 weeks this time. And then I started back going out there. And the day that I went back out there, he was already sitting on his patio. And I was going around the lake. And he was sitting down at first. And then I came back around and he was standing up. And he was standing up just watching me, leaning over his patio watching me. So after that, I was just like, oh, hell nah. Like, man, you really doing too much now. Like, and y'all may be like, why was you still going out there? But it's like, y'all, I just wanted to work out. Like, why should I have to stop working out because this man being weird? And it's like, I had my pepper spray on me. I had my knife on me. But like, I was prepared. Like, and plus he old. So I would have did the dash on him real quick, or kicked him in his balls or something. Like, I was prepared for whatever this man was gonna try to do, for real, because he was old and I was gonna outrun and kick him in the nuts or something. So yeah, that was that. And so he was standing up, leaning over his balcony. And then after that, I had just got off the track, because I'm like, you're trying too hard to get my attention. You want me to look at you. You want me to speak to you so bad, but it's not happening. Like, you a weirdo. Leave me alone. So I had got off the track and I had finished my workout, walking around the parking lot and stuff like that. And he couldn't see the parking lot because his apartment is facing, his patio is facing towards the neighborhood, not outside. Like, he can't see nothing around him. He can just see the lake and what's in the circle. And so yeah, that was that story time. And I had stopped walking. But during that whole time, another creepy dude, well, he was a creep, but he wasn't as persistent as the old dude was. So this particular dude, he stayed on the opposite side of the lake. Like, the older guys, they stayed where y'all are at, to where I'm the lake. So, and the other creepy dude, he stayed on this side of the apartment complex. Like, within the circle, he stayed on this side and they stayed on y'all side. So this creepy dude, he would sit outside. His face would be in his phone, in his book, whatever he had in his lap. He would not look up. This man never looked up. I tell y'all, never looked up. Like, I would walk by, he would not look up. And it's not like I wanted him to look up or nothing, but it's just like, that's what I noticed. Like, he didn't look up, he didn't watch me walk by, he didn't do none of that. He would just be in his phone or in his book or whatever he was doing. I didn't think too much of it at first. And then one day, he was walking into his apartment looking mad. Like, when I say mad, he was looking crazy. And I was like, oh, And we ended up making eye contact. And I was like, before this nigga try to do something to me, let me just wave, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had never spoke to him before, had never tried to speak to him. He never tried to speak to me. But that day when he came around the corner looking crazy and we made eye contact, I just threw my hand up like, hi, and then just kept walking. And so, like I said, he would sit on his patio, but he was always with his head down. And then it seemed like after I had spoke to him and said hey or whatever, it seemed like every day after that, this man started looking at me like he had his head up. He would watch me walk by. That's when the weirdness started to come in, because I'm like, maybe I should have never even spoke to you. Like, I should have just let you look crazy and be mad and just gone by my business. But me trying to be neighborly, you know, and seeing you looking crazy and mad, I just wanted to throw my hand up, you know, like just speak or whatever. But it seemed like every day after that, he would be sitting on his patio and he would be watching me walk by. Basically, he didn't have his head down no more. He was literally watching me, making eye contact with me, watching me. And so after that, I just stopped speaking. I just stopped speaking to him, like throwing my hand up. I was doing that at first when he first started having his head up. He'll throw his hand up, I throw my hand up, but then I just stopped doing that altogether, because I'm like, I don't want you to get the wrong idea and then you try to come talk to me and then it's not gonna go how you want it to go, sir. So yeah, and then that was that encounter. And like, you know, like I said, I don't live around the lake, so whenever I would be coming home from work, it would be the craziest coincidental things, because he'll be riding by, coming into the neighborhood or leaving out the neighborhood, and I'll be coming home from work, like walking up to my building, and he'll just roll his window down and just look at me or smile. Or if I'm at it's a little store right here, right beside my apartments, and he would be in there and he would recognize me, because I basically wear my workout clothes when I'm out in public. I really don't be caring. Like, I wear my workout clothes in public. If I'm just running to the store, I'm not finna dress up and get all, no, I'm just finna throw on something and go to the store. So he recognized me when we were in the store and he was looking at me, and then I was trying to leave out of the store and hurry up and get back home, but he ended up seeing me again and rolling down his window looking at me. Like, he was trying to make it known that, you know, I see you, I like what I see type stuff. Like, he never just said nothing to me, but he was just doing too much weird eye contact and trying to make it known that he looking at me, and that's what I thought was weird too. But luckily, you guys, both of them have moved out of this apartment complex, and I'm so grateful for that. Like, after my last encounter with that older dude, after he had started standing up trying to make it known that he watching me, I had stopped going out there altogether, and I forfeited and started going to the gym. I just was like, you know, y'all not finna just be out here undressing me with y'all eyes. Like, that's just so uncomfortable for a female to be just minding her business and looking crazy at that. Like, I was looking crazy when I would go out there, not just wearing workout clothes and my bonnet. Wearing workout clothes and a bonnet, literally looking crazy, and y'all just watching me. Like, that was crazy and weird and uncomfortable. So I had started going to the gym that my apartment complex has. And I started doing that for about 2-3 months, and then it was cold outside, so that's really why I started doing it in the first place, because it had got cold and I wanted to sweat. So I would just be going hard in the gym, and then once it started to get back hot outside, I was like, okay, I'm finna start back trying to go out here and walk, because I really just didn't want to be so scared to the point where I can't even come outside no more because y'all watching me, and I don't know what y'all thinking in y'all minds or what y'all got brewing up there. But yeah, that was that. And luckily the older dude had moved out, and not too long after I had started working out started walking outside, the other guy had moved out, and he wasn't older. He was probably in his 30s. He wasn't just no old man, but he was still older and weird. So that's my story time on my encounters with my weird neighbors. And that's just two. I kind of do have another weird neighbor, but he's not so weird. He He's not so weird, but you know, he's not your typical guy either. Like, he's all right, but that's another story for another day. And I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. That was my story time on my weird neighbors and my encounters with them. But I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see y'all later in the next video. Bye.